Blessings and greetings, greetings and blessings, blessed souls. We're live because we want to stay alive in Torah Chaim, instructions of life, Torah Chesed, instructions of kindness, Torah Racham, instructions of mercies. We're going now into a further humble effort to pluck out some questions from page 11, from the guiding principle of our study, chapter 2, from a seminal work by Elisheva Bar, a faithful daughter of Israel who lives in Eretz HaKodesh, the Holy Land, Torah for Gentiles, Torah for Bnei Noach, messianic implications of the Bnei Noach laws. And I just thought it kind of spices up the mix if we play as ambient music for ambience. Yoshua Shirk. This is a song called Infinite Light, because the light coming from the Most High is infinite. So let's go now into these basically 8 questions that I'm going to share with you. And you'll have to go to page 11 of Torah for Gentiles, Messianic Implications of the Bnei Noach Laws by Elisheva Bar to learn more about how to answer these questions. So here we go. Question number 1, blessed souls, all bearers of the divine image, Tzem Elokim. Number 1, should we reject freely modern accomplishments and embrace openly solely a return to ancient times? Question 2, what is the relationship between modern accomplishments and a steady foundation? Question number 3, what effect did Christian censorship have on Jewish writings? Number 4, what is the implication of the Jewish nation, Israelites, Hebrew peoples, returning to the Holy Land, and how does it affect contemporary Jewish writings and those of ancient days? Question 5, are all the holy texts of Israel accessible to all? Question 6, a student attaining intuition or deep thought, does that guarantee he or she will immediately receive their sought out after answer? The next question, blessed souls, is how do wise respond to an instruction? The last question we'll pose for you, blessed souls, you'll have to learn about by going to page 11 of chapter 2 of Torah for Gentiles, Messianic Implications for the Bnei Noach Laws. Excuse me, in the guiding principle of our study, chapter 2, is what causes misinterpretations of the Torah? So we'll conclude on that note, blessed souls. And just one more thing. Remember, blessed souls, tshuva is something attainable. Returning to the Most High is attainable by every human being. Not just tshuva from yira, not just returning or repenting out of fear, but tshuva out of love. And in a tangential but directly related teaching, I'd like to conclude with reading something from chapter 5, from Hilchot Tshuva, the laws of repentance, the laws of returning to the Most High, by the Rambam in chapter 5, verse 1. Free will is granted to all people. If one desires to turn him or herself to the path of good and be righteous, the choice is theirs. Should he or she desire to turn to the path of evil and be wicked, the choice is theirs. This is the intent of the Torah statement as written in Bereshit, Perek Gimel, Pasuk Chof Beis, Genesis 3:22. Behold, man has become unique as ourselves, knowing good and evil, which the Rambam interprets as the following. The human species, yes, us blessed souls, became singular in the world with no other species resembling it in the following quality: that the human being can, on his or her initiative, with his knowledge and thought, know good and evil, and do what he or she desires. And there is no one who can prevent he or she from doing good or bad. Accordingly, there was a need to drive out man and woman from the Garden of Eden, quote unquote, lest he stretch out his hand and take from the tree of life. So you see, blessed souls, nothing stopping us except ourselves. Let's chant up for blessings and peace and prosperity. Ahav echad, one love, gorel echad, one destiny l'kolanu for all of us, b'darchinum darchishom, in a peaceful and pleasant way. And let's encourage each other to seek the path of the Most High.